welcome to everyone to the open session of the Fiscal Planning, Finance and Building Committee meeting of Tuesday, September the 9th, 2025. We have a full quorum. All 6 members of the committee are here present, along with support staff who are presenting reports. So item number 1 is a call to order. We are doing that now. Item 2 is a motion to convene into closed session. Carla, we move, trustee trustee Alves will move and second that. So all in favor? Or moved into closed session where I need to rise and report from the closed session. This is a request that the report of closed session regarding the minutes of the closed session of the Fiscal Planning, Finance and Building Committee meeting of September 9th, 2025. The report on a proposal to enter into a lease agreement for Mayfield Secondary School sports amenities, the procurement activity report for May 1st, 2025 to July 31st, 2025 be received, and the recommendations therein be approved. Can we move that? Trustee Promoli, second. Trustee Davies, all in favor of approval? Thank you. That is carried. Now we can move to item 4, which is acknowledgement of traditional lands.
The land upon which we work, live, and sustain ourselves is the ancestral and treaty lands of the Michizagig Anishinaabe, also known today as the Mississaugas of the Credit, the rightful caretakers and title holders of this land. We also recognize the rich pre-contact history and relationships which include the Anishinaabe and the Ongwe-Hongwe.
Since European contact, this land continues to be home to Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. As responsible community members, we value the diversity, dignity, and worth of all people.
Colonialism displaced and dispossessed Indigenous peoples of their ancestral land
and continues to deny their basic human rights, dignities, and freedoms.
We are committed to learning true history to reconcile, make reparations, and fulfill our treaty obligations to the original peoples and our collective responsibilities to the lands, water, animals, and each other for future generations.
Thank you. Item 5 is approval of agenda. Trustee McDonald, will you move to approve the agenda? Trustee Alves, will you second it?
Yes.
All in favor of approval? That's carried. Item 6 is declarations of conflict of interest. Does anyone have conflict to declare? Seeing none, we'll move to item 7, approval of minutes. 7.1 is to stop our student transportation of Peel Region minutes from a meeting of April 24th, 2025. Trustee Davies, will you move that? Trustee Promoli will second it. Are there any questions, concerns of those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor of approval? That's carried. Item 7.2 is a Budget Development Committee meeting of May 27th, 2025. Let's move that to the floor. Trustee Alves, Trustee McDonald, will you second it? Thank you. That's Trustee McDonald's committee. We should get him next time here. Are there any questions about the May 27th meeting? Seeing none, all in favor of approval of those minutes, so carried. 7.3 Budget Development Committee meeting of June 2nd, 2025. Trustee McDonald, move that, please. Trustee Davies, second it. That's on the floor. Are there any questions about the June 2nd Budget Development meeting? Seeing none, all in favor of approval of those minutes? That's carried. Thank you. 7.2 is the Fiscal Planning, Finance and Building Committee meeting of June 4th, 2025. Let's move that to the floor. Trustee Alves and Trustee Bailey, we second it. It's on the floor. Any questions or concerns? You have some? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Just wanted to make the note in public that Trustee Alves and I were a little late for that meeting because we were in discipline committee hearings and not for any other reason.
Right. Okay, that would be so noted. Thank you. Appreciate that. Not that anybody thought anything lesser of the two of you. We know your commitment. Thank you. And so we moved it to the floor. We've had questions. Yes. All in favor of approval? That is carried. Thank you. Item 8 is delegations, of which we have none. Item 9 is staff reports, of which we have some. 9.1 is the outdoor electronic signs. It's an oral presentation by Isabella Borowski, who is the Assistant Controller of Maintenance Services. And Isabella's online. Yes, here she is. Welcome, Isabella.
Welcome. Good afternoon, everyone.
Go ahead.
Sorry, yes. So just to outline some concerns that were brought forward to us with regards to, we spend the money Initially, to invest in signs, we need to do, I'm going to say, a little bit of a better job to make sure that they stay functional. So it is very important to us. And with me today, I have Mark Marshall. He's with you guys there, Chief Information Officer. And also online, we have Jeff Vanderhoek. He's the electrical supervisor who oversees the electronic signs portfolio. They will help outline our joint plan for ensuring that the electronic signs remain fully functional. Mark will give a quick overview of our plans with our LTSS department, and then Jeff will provide a shorter overview of how we plan to address our past challenges. Mark, I hand it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabella, and through you, Chair Cameron. To better support school signs, LTSS has worked closely with our colleagues in maintenance and have instituted some additional oversights and processes. First and foremost, we have created a centralized repository of information about every school sign. This repository is shared between the two departments to ensure that the latest details are easily accessible by all. Any ongoing issue or work on the sign will be indicated in this repository. Further, LTSS technical support specialists who support schools and who on average visit each school at least once a week will now verify as they arrive that the sign is working at each school. If it is not working, they will report up into their senior manager details after triaging the situation. Over 90% of the time, there is nothing the technical support specialist can do to correct it, but they can advocate for the school. Senior manager support, Neil Larson, will engage Isabella and or her team if there is a non-functional sign that does not have current status details in the central repository.
Okay, thank you. Isabella, are you moving to Jeff for a second part here?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, there's Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Thank you.
So Jeff's online. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Admittedly, we did have some difficulty obtaining parts in the past for our signs. A large percentage of our signs are with one manufacturer, and we did experience some difficulties obtaining the repair parts in a timely fashion. Since that, we've remedied that by now we carry the stock. We stock the parts in-house, and again, that'll cut down on our downtime and make our boards again function better, as well as provide the information to the public that we so deeply need. Looking into the future, we anticipate quicker repair times all the way around with the assistance of LTSS. We believe that the system will be much smoother, downtimes will be minimized, and repairs will come around a lot quicker. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff and I have had a lot of conversations the last little while over some signs, and so I appreciate you're trying to streamline this and fix this for us. So we have the presentation. Let's move it to the floor. Trustee Davies, Trustee Cromole, second it. It's on the floor. Trustee Davies, question.
Yeah, so my background is lift trucks. So whenever we hit a certain number of lift trucks, and I think we're approaching that with these signs. Again, I'm glad to hear there's consignment parts on hands and that sort of thing. But also, is it our own people who fix these signs, or do we hire an outside company? And if so, if it's our own internal people, are we getting factory training to how to fix these signs efficiently?
So who would answer that? Is it Jeff?
Yes, I can answer that.
Go ahead.
Thanks for your question. Yeah, typically the communication portions is dealt with our in-house group. Again, it's typically a fiber to Cat6 converter that we utilize. From the LTSS portion, LTS is helping us out with the IP addresses of the sign and programming it, as well as the security systems. But when we do come to the actual sign itself, it is proprietary, so we do use contractors for the sign-specific repairs. We don't have training, nor have we really looked into training for the specific signs to work on their proprietary equipment.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Yes, Trustee McDonald?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So I guess not having a report here, we don't know why this report came to us other than there's problems. So what were the problems? That signs weren't being repaired for a long time? I'm hearing LTS is goes to places weekly, but we're not the principals say my sign's not working. Isn't there a reporting system for that? Can you give me a little background?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I can. Thank you very much for the question as well. Yeah, typically what would happen was the problem would come to us in the form of a work order through our eBay system. Again, there was some significant delays with parts. They do come from offshore, and I believe they travel through the States. So we did have some difficulties there with obtaining the parts. So we had at times there was a month, maybe 2 months where a few signs didn't work. However, that being said, we have a significant amount of fines from Sunnytron, and we have signs that have not had any maintenance at all for the last 15, 20 years that they've been put in. So there is positives there. The last little bit, there's been some problems with their supply. We are sort of opening up a little bit, and we've engaged another sign supplier who we have confidence in that will help us and give us a device that's a little more up to date and user friendly and parts more available.
Thank you, Chair. Just to go a little deeper, so do we have like a promised turnaround when a principal sends something in that, you were looking to get things repaired in a week, a month? What was it before? What are you trying to achieve?
When the work orders come in, they do have a standard set time of 28 days. We do like to try and keep ahead of that as best we can. Typically, they'll come into myself. I can test it to see whether it's the actual communication side of the problems, and we'll engage the contractor to come and visit the school. In the meantime, turnaround, we're looking at a week. I think that's fair to say. As average repair time is about a week.
Okay, thank you.
And through you, Chair, just to add to Jeff's comments, we were actually reviewing this and we were looking into change that into the 15-day turnaround within our eBay system, because we understand it's an important thing. We're making sure that the messages are reflected accurately on the signs.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Trustee Ellis?
Just one. I thought it would come up, but how many signs were down? Do we know? Through your chair, I'm wondering how many were down. Do we have any down now?
Yes,
So
we do.
through you, Chair. Yeah, so we did, and this is actually why we need to work so closely with our LTSS department. And based on the work orders that we received on our report, it looks like there's 4 that came in that needed a repair. But I guess what we're finding sometimes is maybe not necessarily is communicated to us. Maybe there's a heat call, maybe there's something missed via an email from the school administrators. So that's why putting this plan in place with having an LTSS individual come at school once a week, before they go to the school, they look at the sign, and if they see that, hey, the sign is not working, they'll have that conversation with the school administrators, and that way we'll make sure that we get the information ASAP. So according to our report, it looks like there's 4, but I believe there's probably more out there that are not fully functioning.
Any follow-up? Good. Okay. Thank you. Trustee Davis?
Just while we're on this subject, when I get a call from the public saying, hey, that the sign has information that was like 2-3 weeks ago, and it needs to be updated, is that something I should relay to the superintendent because it's fixed at school level, or is that something that I should relay to someone here at the board office for LTSS to look at?
Yeah. Okay, so Director Gill?
Sure. Through you, Chair again, it's the schools. Schools are responsible for changing those messages. And we always encourage them to change the messages on a regular basis. Provide the information to the community. The electronic signs are expensive to install. So we want that to be fully utilized by the school, for the school events, for the school, as well as also for the community. So we do encourage the schools to say, hey, continue to update those signs on a regular basis. But if you see something like that, definitely connect with the superintendent.
Thank you for that. So definitely, I'll just share in my community, everything goes through Superintendent Al. So I get calls from, it's where I get the information in my community from family members. People are pretty super conscious of environmental sustainability, for example, don't want the signs running all summer long. Superintendent Al send a message out to all the principals and they shut them off. Otherwise, some of the messages could be in August, have a wonderful graduation on June the 18th, right? And it's like a 2-month-old message that's not meaningful or helpful. And it's using energy that creates a reaction in my community. So I would I would say if we get a phone call or if we see it ourselves, we should report it to our superintendent, who will then start the process now with the new streamlined effort to fix signs as soon as possible. I went through a lot of this with a number of different reactions to signs not being operational. So it was a vendor issue, their parts, accessing parts, LTSS, maintenance. I suspect that the easiest part of this whole process is for your team now to be notified that there is something wrong with the sign, because you're going to have more eyes on those signs. And it has been my mind all along. If the board feels that it's an important enough effort to put our time and money into those signs, we need to make sure that we're equally finding it important enough to maintain them and keep them functional and operational. I think that's fair to say throughout. So any other questions or comments? Seeing none, this has been moved and seconded. All in favor of receipt of the oral report. Thank you. Thank you, Isabella. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Mark Marshall. Thank you.
Thank you.
9.2 is the application status update here for our information. It's a presentation by Suzanne Flakeman, Manager of Planning and Enrollment in the Planning Department. Welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you, Chair Cameron, and through you. Included in this report is a list of development applications reviewed by planning staff for the months of May, June, and July of 2025. Each development application is accompanied by location maps and comment letters sent to the respective municipality.
Thank you. Let's move this to the floor. Trustee Bailey and Trustee Ells, moved and seconded. Are there any questions about the procurement activity report for this period? Sorry, the application status update for this period. Seeing none, all in favor of receipt? That's carried. 9.3 is the procurement activity report here for our information. Presentation to us by Tanya Alatisha Charles, Controller of Finance and Support Services. Welcome, Controller.
Thank you, and through you, Chair. The report before you is for receipt. The report details procurement activity for the 3 months from May 1st to July 31st, 2025. Highlights within the report are as follows. The contract for specialized mobility equipment was awarded. The contract for synthetic track and field at the Woodland Secondary School was awarded. Contract for asphalt paving services, as well as the contract for lease of multifunctional devices and A4 printers, and as well as the contract for maintenance, inspection, and repair of access control and CCTV systems. All contracts are awarded in accordance with the board procurement policy and the board procurement regulations. In compliance with applicable public procurement regulations, the contracts awarded in this report have been posted publicly on the procurement portal. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Thank you for the report. Let's move this to the floor. Trustee Promoli will move it. Trustee McDonald, will you second it? Thank you. It's on the floor. Are there any questions or concerns, comments? Seeing none, I have one. And it's not really anything in this report, but I was helping water some gardens in the summer, and this van pulled up at a particular school, and out of the van truck came all these pieces of equipment and young men and women driving this equipment on the property. And what they were doing was lining. They have the contract with our board to line the parking lots with those lines that allow people to park between the lines. They came over to talk to me, wondering what this old guy was doing with the holes at the garden, and we chatted, and they are graduates of our board who have, and it's coincidental, but that's not why they got the contract, but they have the contract. And one went to Lowell Public School, one went to Humberview, one went to James Bolton Public School. They're all, and two went to Humberview, and they're best friends today. And it was a really wonderful story to learn. I don't know anything about their company, so I'm not in conflict if I both down the road, but it's sort of my world where you get out of my house and get to my community. I meet more and more people, and this was such a warm feeling to meet these kids to me. But so thank you for the report. It's been moved, seconded, questioned, and all in favor of receipt for information. That is carried. Thank you. 9.4 is the vandalism. Let's try this. Vandalism activity report. This is here for our information. Presentation by Thomas Chung, our Controller of Facilities and Environmental Support Services. Welcome, Controller.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Cameron. You have before you our vandalism activity report for the months of April, May, and June. For the months of April, we had a total of 32 incidents. In May, we had 21 incidents, and June 30. The activity compared to the previous years for the month of April was worse than previous years, but the months of May and June were better. In total, the dollar values for the of the acts of vandalism for the month of April are $14,948. For May, it's $10,977, and for June, it's $4,375. I do want to point out in the evidence section of the month of April that there is a typo. That should be April and not August, 15th and 17th. So I just noticed that right now. And I'm glad to take any questions. And of course, included in the appendix is a detail of the activities.
Thank you. So let's move this. Trustee Ells will move it. Trustee Kamali will second. And we do have some questions. Trustee Ells, go ahead. Trustee Kamali next.
Thank you, Chair Cameron. I noticed a lot of NAs, and I know that they're probably, maybe they're that because they're an insignificant cost or a low cost, or do we not know the cost? I'm just wondering if together, because there's so many NAs listed, if that cost will be really big.
Generally, there isn't a cost associated to NAs. There are just reports of suspicious activity.
Got it. Okay. And how are we, through you, Chair, how are we tracking in comparison to our other months? Are we high, are we low for incidents of vandalism?
Through you, Chair Cameron, I did state that in April, we were trending higher than previous years, but for the months of May and June, we are definitely lower, significantly lower.
Okay. Trustee Kamali next, and Trustee Davies.
Thank you, Chair. I know that we had an unfortunate streak of vandalism in the spring, and a number of the schools that I represent were affected by that. I was wondering if there are any updated measures to help deter from that when it comes to things like cameras, because I do know that a lot of vandalism took place in places where there were no cameras present. I don't know if that's something that we are looking at just to try and help prevent that again in the future. I was just wondering what the update might be on that situation.
So through you, Chair Cameron, we do have a program right now where are adding cameras to all our middle schools, and we are in the final phases of that. The other thing is there was a group of schools that were in areas 4 and 5, especially in April, that were being vandalized. We can report that there was one arrest as a result of that. But total vandalism from that group of schools was only $2,000 approximately.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Trustee Davies.
I noticed that in May, Houston Public School was hit twice within 2 weeks, and for a total of close to $10,000. Just was there any follow-up to that? Any police investigations? Anything that we should know that we don't have to worry about that happening again this year?
So through you, Chair, that was the significant cost to May. There was 2 incidents at Houston. What we generally do is we put those schools on patrol, increase patrols in the evening especially. We are also do see an increase in activity, especially around that school, but we are continuing to monitor it.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Any other questions? I just like to add about the patrols that during summer, I had a number of complaints from farmers who indicated that there were people on school property, in this case it was Herb Campbell Public School, who were flying kites, but fight kites. I guess there's a competition. And so these are not really soft kites, soft frame. They're like metal framed or steel framed. And then they fight each other in the air. When they lose, they land in the farmer's field who's trying to harvest and combine fields. And thankfully, I got a hold of Enzo, and he initiated patrols. And there was one more phone call after that. The patrols are helpful, but they are not always able to be there when somebody's going to do something, but it stopped after that. And the farmer was grateful for the help and the supervision. So thank you for that out of your department. Sorry. Yeah, welcome to Callan. Vandalism activity report has been presented and on the floor. So all those in favor of receipt for information, that is carried. Thank you, everyone. Item 10 is for communications, which there is none. There were item 11, trustee motions for consideration. There are none. Item 12. Trustee notices of motion, there are none. Item 13, all in favor, well, not yet in favor, let's put it on the floor. Trustee Davis for adjournment, trustee McDonald for a second of adjournment, all in favor of adjournment. That is carried. Good night, everyone. Thank you.